We're back.
Gremlins, we had some new equipment we've installed, right?
Yeah, we've upgraded a couple things. Well,
Wow.
Tell us how the audio is, and we'll do our best to fix it for everyone.
Yes. I think
Thank you for waiting, too. We appreciate that.
It sounds pretty good now, though,
I think so.
I think it sounded pretty good. So, welcome back. We've worked through our Gremlins, which is good. We started a little late. Brandon hates it. We had another meeting going on, and, I was maybe a little tardy in what it is that I do, and Brandon being the way he is, and he's right to a degree, but we've worked through it, right? Adapt, overcome, and improvise.
Yes.
Right?
All right.
Sure. Okay. Here we go. So, what's on the show? But before we do that, how can people connect with us?
Hey, everyone. As you know, please, we love communicating with you and engaging with you here on the show.
Yep.
So please, leave a comment below, join the chat, and we would love to engage and answer your questions here live on the show.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yes,
right?
please. It helps us a lot.
Hit that subscribe button for sure. So, what do we got going?
Let's talk about some updates.
Oh, yes, some updates.
We're going to talk about what we did this week.
We were pretty busy.
This week, we were in Washington State.
We spent the entire week down in the U.S., down in the Chelan Lake area, right?
Yeah. And we went to a bunch of schools, met a bunch of students, and we had a really awesome time spending our time down there.
Love the group down in the bottom right there, flashing the W, the White Hatter symbol, right? This is the second time we've been down there. They bring us in every other year now.
Yep.
And so, but this year, unlike the first time we were down there, it was just me. But now that you are able to work down in the U.S. because you got a working visa, you came down as well, and you presented to what grades? What you were presenting to down there?
The grades 4s to 7s in the area.
Yeah, you were. And then I did all the 8s to 12s in all the areas. And then you came along and you were taking a bunch of pictures and video. But a pretty beautiful place, Chelan?
Quite beautiful.
I mean, we were right on the lake, and it was calm every morning. Just beautiful, beautiful place. It was kind of quiet because it's off season, but I could imagine how busy Chelan must be during the summer months, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the Okanagan, the interior British Columbia. Kind of the same kind of vibe, same kind of feeling, but had a great time down there. We've got some really great feedback from the kids. And by the way, guess what?
What?
One of the teens at Chelan called me a drippin' boomer.
Yes, they did.
They called me a drippin' boomer.
Yeah, they did.
I thought, okay, is that an insult? And they go, no, it's like, you're a really cool old person. And I went, old person? But I guess I am. But I became a drippin' boomer just because of what I wear, which is kind of cool. What have they called you? Nothing, Scooter. That's his new nickname. His new nickname is Scooter from The Muppet Show. Anyways, so what else? What else we got?
For those of you who've been watching this show last couple weeks, you know that we are doing our White Hatter Coding Academy here in Langford. However, we have made some changes.
Yes.
We've just changed the date to October 26th.
Yeah, we had it too close to Thanksgiving.
It was on the same weekend as Thanksgiving here in Canada.
That was a faux pas on my part.
So we just moved it to a couple weeks after, and it's now on the 26th. Same time, same place, all the same stuff, just a different day.
For sure. So, for those of you who want to learn how to code, we have two of the best teachers in the world in Kelby and having a little bit Kelby and
Jillian.
Yeah, Jillian. Oh my. It's because I have a boomer brain. But two of the best. I mean, they Candace, that's not funny. She's laughing in my ear, everybody, because I called myself a boomer. Anyways, but whatever. So two of the best, right? And they're just finishing their degrees up at the University of Victoria in the area of computer and technology and engineering. So they taught our first program. The teens loved it. Hope you guys sign up for the second one, right, as well. So what else we got going?
Let's talk about some interesting things that happened this week in the news sphere.
What do we call this?
We're going to call this segment the Sorry, What Happened?
Or say, what?
This is a segment where we talk about some strange things that popped up in the media that make your brain go, huh?
Things that could go,
First thing that caught our attention this week is, some of you may have seen this if you live here in BC. This story that popped up on the news earlier this week in regards to a BC senior who was given a $368 ticket.
So give him the reason behind the scene. What happened here?
Okay, so apparently someone was driving. Apparently. They had a phone in a cup holder charging, and they were ticketed for distracted driving.
Right. We won't tell them what police department it was, though, right? We won't mention that. But
the article's there.
It's there. But they were just driving. They weren't playing with their phone. It was just plugged into a cup holder beside them. And the officer gave this elderly person a ticket for distracted driving for $368. And with that fine, it also goes against your insurance. So if you get a second one, you can actually have your insurance rates go up and you can have your driver's license suspended. But here's the issue. What? Like the driver wasn't using the phone. And there was an argument made that just having it plugged in your car can be a distraction itself. Well, there's a really good case law here in the province from a court saying no. But there was huge public uproar.
Yeah. So the ticket has been revoked.
Yes, it has.
The department said, yeah, we're going to not go through with the ticket. So, obviously.
It's one of those things, right? Like there's laws and there's laws. Not all laws are black and white. There's all shades of gray. But I remember in my career in law enforcement that discretion is the key here. Like I get it. If she had it plugged in and she was using it and doing stuff with it while she was driving, then yeah, you know what? That would be a ticket in my opinion, right?
Most certainly.
Come on. If the person just has now, what about GPSs in the cars, right? That are already built into the cars. Is that not distracting? Right? Or how about if I'm driving and
apparently what I read about that is that you cannot be actively changing your GPS when you're driving. It has to be pre-planned on your phone and on your dash.
Right. But again, I mean, just saying that she's getting a ticket because it was plugged in, not right. Like that's just not right. Like that commercial, that's not right.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah.
Anyways, they pulled the ticket though. Yeah. Right thing to do. And I think a part of that was because of the social media outcry.
Yes.
Right? Because people use social media to basically say, what the? Really? And as a result of that, they pulled the ticket, which was the right decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So what else we got on?
Let's talk about some general news stories.
Oh, in the news.
First story we're going to talk about is this right here.
Oh, what's this one all about?
So this one made its rounds on social media earlier this week, talking about how there was a 0-day vulnerability on Android. So
just a second here. I just got to use my iPhone for a second. Just my iPhone.
The shade.
Anyways.
So, a 0-day vulnerability. For those of you who don't know, a 0-day vulnerability means it's an issue on a device that has not yet been widely talked about or widely known.
Oh.
So it's 0-day means it hasn't been registered. It hasn't been registered. Antivirus programs haven't picked it up yet. It's a brand new, no one knows about it, and those things sell for lots of money on the black market.
But don't companies also, if you identify a zero exploit and you bring it to the attention of some of these companies, they too will also pay you for it as long as you don't make it public, right?
Yeah, some they do. It's called a bug bounty program.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people make thousands of dollars helping companies like Apple and
That's
Microsoft.
How they make their living.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah, for sure doing that.
So anyway, there was a vulnerability in the Android platform where essentially two things could happen. If someone installs a untrustworthy app or from an online attack by combining different exploits through a Chrome browser, rendering certain content. In one of those two circumstances, basically, it would give the attacker kind of full control over your device. Concern.
That's not good.
So obviously, this kind of spread online. People were concerned.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In regards to safety, there are updates. Please ensure you update your device. Google said Pixel 3s are not affected, but of affected devices include things like Pixel 1, Pixel 1 XL, Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL, Huawei P20, Moto Z3, Oreo LG phones, Samsung S7, 8, and 9. Now, I know.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you're just talking about Android phones again, right?
For Pixel owners, Google is supplying an update. Should be out already, so please update your device. For those of you who don't have a Pixel device, please check with your manufacturer.
It's kind of funny because Life of Potterhead just said, hey, what Android phones are being affected? And you just answered the question.
Those are the ones.
Those are all the ones that are being affected. So when it comes to downloading apps into the Android, it is much more problematic than the iPhone, right?
Yeah, but I mean, generally, if you download your apps from reputable places and making sure the app's legitimate and not going to sketchy websites, you should be fine. But generally speaking, you do want to make sure you have your device updated.
Yeah, for sure.
So keep that in mind.
Yep. For sure. Next one.
Speaking of viruses and whatnots, this article that spread, kind of summarizing some information from this year.
Yeah.
Over 500 U.S. schools were hit by ransomware in 2019.
I think we have a follow-up for this in Canada too, right?
We do. Additionally, this week, this article was posted.
Yeah.
Where 3 hospitals in Ontario were hit by ransomware.
This is becoming a big deal, right?
Actually, this week, the FBI released a press release saying to companies, do not pay ransomware.
You know, a couple things on that. You know, what do you do if you're a company who is totally dependent upon what you've got online in a digital format, wherever it's being, and now it's fully encrypted. And if you don't pay the ransomware, you are now kaput. You might as well kiss your company goodbye. In fact, you know, I met an expert in the field last week who said that over 23% of companies that are hit with ransomware within 1 year, they're no longer in business. That's almost like, that's 1 in 4, right? But what do you do? Like, how can, I get the reason why, because if you pay the ransomware, you're just encouraging these people to keep doing this stuff, right? But as a company owner, if I have a company that's totally dependent upon the digital technology and everything that's in my database, and now it gets encrypted, and the only way to get it back to survive as a company is to pay the ransom, well then, what do you expect me to do? Right? It's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But if I'm using it for the purpose of the company to survive, well then from a risk management standpoint, it may be more advantageous for me to pay the ransom. But if you pay the ransom, how do you know they're not going to give you the key to unencrypt?
True, exactly. And there are some states that are proposing some legislation saying it'll be illegal to pay ransomware.
You know, that's real easy to do. But again, you know, and what's interesting about this, Brandon, you and I have spoken about this a lot. It's these guys aren't going out, and gals, they're not going after for the big companies anymore, right? They're going for the middle, you know, small business, middle-sized businesses, you know, smaller school districts. They're going for the low-hanging fruit because they know that they're not likely going to have the safety protocols in place to help minimize this, right? So one of the questions I have for you is, as a small company, you know, who uses the internet for business, what are some important things that you can remember to do so that you're less likely to fall prey to ransomware? What are some things?
I mean, obviously making sure you have proper security in place.
Right.
Making sure you store your devices in a secure way with passwords.
Right.
Avoid cloud as much as possible, if at all able to.
That's kind of hard for some companies, right? Because it can be expensive.
Definitely ensure you have proper backups in place.
Oh, for sure.
So make sure you have a backup of a backup and have an off-site backup that's not connected.
Yeah, so an air gap kind of thing.
So those are kind of like the main things.
And also the phishing attacks, right? Like being aware, because a lot of this stuff comes from employees clicking on things they shouldn't be clicking, right? And on phishing, and you kind of wrote your master's degree on that, that whole issue on phishing. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I mean, did you, your thesis is involved online, but if you just Google phishing, P-H-I-S-I-N-G, you can kind of learn what it is, right? Yeah, for sure. So very interesting. So just be aware, but we are finding as a company that these guys are definitely going after the smaller to mid-level businesses and organizations just because they don't have the proper safety and security protocol in place to help prevent it. But again, you know, this, I totally understand why the FBI are saying this, I really do. But again, as a small business owner, if the only way for me to get my data back for me to survive as a business is to pay the ransom, well then that's likely what I'm going to do. And there are some insurance companies now that are insuring companies for this kind of stuff, right? So, but having said that, once they insured you, you got to make sure that you as a company do everything you can, your due diligence, to make sure you prevent it from happening. Because if you don't do your due diligence, it then gives the insurer the ability not to honor the claim. Right? So very important. Very interesting. Right? Very interesting.
This article was sent to us by a follower of ours on Twitter in regards to a tweet you posted about because last week we traveled to the United States, Washington State, and in the area we were, they had a food program.
In every one of them.
Every school
it was
we
in
went to.
Chelan, Petros, and Mason, or Manson, sorry.
Yeah.
All of them had a school. Maybe you can share with what we saw.
Yeah, so basically, before school, there was a food program where students could get fed, and then there was some schools had an after-school food program where students after school, they had after-school activities and such, they could get food as well. So this article was sent to us by a follower on Twitter, and they were talking about how maybe here in Canada, we need a national food program similar to what some states do in the United States.
Yeah, this follower on Twitter, she is actually the longest serving member of the Vancouver School Board, right?
Oh, wow.
So she serves on the school board there. And she wrote this huge article on this issue, like, because one of the things I said is that wouldn't it be nice if BC and Canada offered the same things? Because there's no doubt that kids that get nutrition or fed well helps to assist in learning, right? And so it's amazing. Everywhere I travel throughout the United States, they have federal and state grants in place to help pay for it. In fact, at I think it was Manson we were at, they said not only do they feed their students during the school season, but even during remember she said even during the summer months, they would feed their students and their families twice a day as well, even during the summer months, because they know how important it is. Now, in this upcoming election, several here in Canada, not the U.S., but several of the those who are running, like the NDP, are all in favor of full-time lunches, right, being served. And I actually think that that's a great idea. But again, it's going to cost money. It's got to come from somewhere. Where's it going to come from? Is the taxpayer for sure. But as a taxpayer, if I knew that that money was going to be used to go for food in schools, I'm in. Right? Like I'm in, because I think it is so important, especially for kids and families that maybe just don't have the socioeconomic ability to. In fact, in Manson, the principal there said that these are actually the only meals that kids can get.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad, right? So, and again, it's so important that we keep our kids fed, and nutrition is key when it comes to learning. So,
hey, let's. This is a new video that was produced by our friends at MediaSmart.
Yes, we love MediaSmart, right?
We love what they do. For those of you who are in Canada, you may remember there is this PSA.
What's a PSA?
Public service announcement.
Oh, thank you.
That was produced many years ago, surrounding a topic known as the house hippo.
What is a house hippo?
Well, here's the new video that MediaSmart has now created, and I want to show it to all of you right here.
As night falls, 37 million Canadians turn out their lights and settle down for the night. But as we sleep, there's something interesting going on. House hippos have returned to Canadian homes, but they're extremely hard to spot. They enjoy admiring their reflections, hoarding socks.
That's where my socks go.
Devices, and annoying your pets. It looks like Canada has a house hippo.
How funny is that?
Or do we?
What?
We brought back the house hippo to show how easy it is to be fooled.
Like Potterhead says, I remember it.
Find out how to tell what's
yeah.
what's not at breakthefake.ca.
So that's a really cool. What do you think about the house hippo?
I love the house hippo.
They're so funny when you watch them. Like, who really thought that house hippos? Did you just see that?
What?
That was like a house hippo. Holy moly. They do exist. I love it. I love it. Katniss found this thing at a little thrift shop and that kind of stuff. So look, it even. This is our white hatter house hippo, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Little white hatter house hippo. So pretty cool, right? It's all about teaching young people, especially, how to critically think online and really ask themselves, is what I'm reading true, and looking for multiple sources. And, big shout out to MediaSmarts, because they really took this and are running with it right now, right? So a really good idea.
Wonderful to bring it back. Love it.
A little house hippo. I love it. I love it. That was pretty cool what I did there, right?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I like it. Okay.
What else we got going on?
Let's talk about some breaches.
Breaches.
All right, a couple breaches.
Here we
Actually, this is quite a week for breaches and leaks.
It was, eh?
First one we want to talk about is EA, Electronic Arts. They've been in hot water of recent. So basically, EA, they said basically in FIFA 20, which itself is a problematic game for how it was launched, there was this tournament people would sign up for. About 1,600 players had their data accidentally leaked because the company publicly made the submissions publicly available. So you fill in your information on this form.
Really?
And then you would submit it, but that information was accidentally made public to everyone else who could access the form.
I think there's a really good example of I ooped.
Oh, certainly.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, wow.
What else did we got going on?
This kind of went through the courts. Former Yahoo employee admitted to hacking about 6,000 user accounts to steal intimate nude photographs and videos of users.
You know, the weakest link is always the human link.
Yeah.
Right? There's a good example. You hire an employee. If the employee is dishonest, they have access to that information. They can copy it and then collect it. I mean, here's another really good example to understand why we constantly preach that no matter what platform, no matter what your privacy or security settings, everything we do online is public, permanent, searchable, exploitable, copyable, shareable, and it's all for sale.
Yep.
Right? And so here's a really good example of how if you don't have a good employee who's dishonest, then that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take personal information, collect it, and then who knows what this employee was doing with it? Probably selling it or posting it. Who knows? Right? But again, nothing is ever private.
Yeah.
Really good example of that. So what else?
All right. Next one. American Express employee. Again, accused of accessing customers' private information for possible fraud.
So another example of the weakest link, the human link, becoming a problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's again, because I'm sure that American Express has really good privacy settings put in place, right?
Yep.
Like in security. Like there's no doubt because of who they are. But you can have the most secure system in the world, but again, the weakest link is going to be the human link. So if you have a dishonest employee who has access to information that they think that they can monetize, then they could do that.
Yep.
Right? So they can do that. And those are the types of employees that need to be arrested, charged, and convicted.
Yeah.
Right? For breaching policy, breaching the law, and breaching our trust, right? Which is like, holy moly. Please tell me there's not another one.
Not so much an employee, but Zynga. Had a data breach of about 218 million records. Zynga is, I guess, popular on Facebook. They're the ones that make Farmville and those types of games on Facebook.
We've been hearing problems with Farmville for years now about leaking information.
So basically, they also make Words with Friends as well. A very popular one. So basically, in this breach, there was about details included things like names, email addresses, login IDs, hashed passwords, password reset tokens if requested, phone numbers provided, and Facebook IDs if connected through the social network, and Zynga account IDs.
So that's all about identity theft.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Unbelievable, right?
So, yeah, there were quite a few breaches. I can't speak right now.
Well, it's just like what I said earlier.
Quite a few breaches.
And I'm a boomer. You're a millennial.
Quite a few breaches and I can't speak. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Candace is sighing. Candace is sighing and laughing in my ear.
I hear it. I hear. Did you forget your mic was on, Candace? Her mic is on. I can hear her. I heard her.
It happens. We had a long week this week. We had a long week. Well, it was a great week down in Chile.
Our meeting went longer than it should have.
Yeah.
We started behind time.
Which drives you crazy.
Our mic was on before we actually went on live.
Right.
We can't speak today.
No. But that's okay. That's what makes this show kind of funny, right? I mean, it's kind of live and you kind of roll with it, right? A little bit of cringe. A little bit of cringe?
A little bit of cringe
I'm
today.
learning all this new stuff. A little bit of cringe today. So we'll make it up with the TikTok we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna finish our TikTok.
Assuming it won't be cringe either.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. So make sure, for those of you who aren't, make sure you follow us on TikTok, right?
Yes.
What's our handle on TikTok?
At White Hatter Team.
The White Hatter Team. So we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Am I missing it? LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn as well.
So that's 6.
And are we on Snapchat?
No,
Or not yet?
no, not Snapchat. We don't do anything on Snapchat.
Not Snapchat. Yeah, okay. But
Candace says yet.
Yeah. Candace would like to be on everything if she could, right? So she just said true in my ear. That's what I just said true. So what else? Is that about it?
That's about it. Our next show is going to be on the 13th. Again, we do our best to do this every Sunday when we can. If not, we do our best to pre-record something. But we're getting close to the Halloween show, and Candace is excited to have this set fully decked out for Halloween.
See, here's what you need to know.
We're taking a trip to Michael's, are we?
Candace found our hippo. right? She found our hippo. She found the
Scooter
trolls.
2000.
Scooter 2000. She found the Pippa.
Pippa?
Pippa.
You said Pippa.
All right.
It's Peppa.
Ah, Pippa.
Again, this is not our hottest show right now.
Pippa is actually, it's actually a privacy law. Anyways, there's Peppa, and then she found like the jack-o'-lanterns, the troll god, the little phone. So apparently she's already been going hard for Halloween.
Apparently.
Like she's been finding a lot of stuff. Like I think the Halloween show is going to be a pretty funny show. Actually, I
hope so.
We're kind of dressing up for that.
Is that going to be the Halloween show? What is that going to be on? Oh, it's going to be before Halloween or after Halloween?
Oh, Candace just said it's going to be before Halloween because so it's going to be on the 27th, right? The 27th.
Yeah, so So Halloween is on the 31st.
It's on Thursday.
So the 27th will be our Halloween show. So that's it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, and we're going to be wearing costumes.
It's a giveaway too.
And we're going to wear costumes.
Are we?
Well, we're going to wear something. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to wear something.
I'm glad we're wearing something.
Yeah, we're going to wear something. Okay, Candace, stop laughing.
How this show is going right now? Again, this is not our hottest episode, but
Well, I'll be wearing something. I'll be wearing this little loincloth. There you go.
What are you doing?
I'm going to be wearing a loincloth. How's that? No? I don't know. It's one of those shows, right? We've kind of lost control. So, we've lost control. Candace is laughing her head off right now in the office. We got Des Johnson going, woo, woo. It's just like, what do we do, right? Like we started weirdly. Is that a word?
We ended weirdly.
Is weirdly a word? Candace, is weirdly a word?
Okay,
yes, it is. It is a word. So, and we're going to end weirdly.
Okay.
Right? So,
all right.
Right? Our little house hippo. Hello. Right? House hippo. Right? Well, it's pretty cool. Anyways, so I think that's probably it. What do you think?
I think that's it, everyone.
Unless you want to say, you can just say Brandon is not.
I think
Brandon, so that everybody knows.
I think we're done with this episode.
No, hold on. So that everybody knows. Brandon is very much an A, B, C, D, E, F, G. He's very everything has to fit just perfectly. And if I
can turn you off at any moment.
If one little thing goes a little sideways, it's like, oh my God. Right? And I think a little, you're gonna X me?
I can X you at any time.
Anyways, it's been one of those shows. So on behalf of Darren,
and myself, Brandon.
And
Candace in the back.
Candace, who's still laughing in my ear right now. You know what? You guys have a great rest of the weekend, and we will see you next Sunday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
All right. Bye. Everyone.